The halls of justice are often filled with the echoes of broken promises and the quiet whispers of those seeking a return to fairness. On this particular day, the air in the courtroom of Judge Judy Justice felt heavy with the expectations of two women who walked very different paths to arrive at the same destination. The first story begins with the hope of a wedding, a day meant to be etched in gold and silk, planned with the meticulous care of a bride named Nidra Hunter. Nidra had envisioned a celebration that would unite her family and friends, and central to this vision was a grand party bus. She imagined 30 of her closest guests laughing and sharing stories as they traveled from the ceremony to the park for photographs and finally to the venue where the party would truly begin. In March of the year 2022, months before her wedding date of October 8th, Nidra began her search on the internet. She found a company that seemed to promise the world under the regal name of Luxury Queen and Mr. Party Bus. The owner, Tamika Young, operated out of Detroit and had been in business since 2017. To Nidra, the Facebook page and the website presented an image of professional excellence, featuring videos of large, gleaming white buses that could easily accommodate her wedding party. She reached out, believing she was securing a top-tier service for the most important day of her life. However, beneath the polished surface of the website lay a different reality. When the day finally arrived in the courtroom, Judge Judy looked toward Tamika Young and asked a fundamental question about the nature of her business. She asked how many party buses were registered in the company name. The answer was none. She asked how many were registered in Tamika's own name. The answer was again none. It became clear that the business was a hustle, a clever arrangement of subcontracting where the owner would secure clients and then scramble to find vehicles from other companies. Nidra had paid $950 for a bus that was supposed to hold 30 people. But only weeks before the wedding, on September 26, the narrative began to shift. Tamika contacted Nidra to claim that the promised bus was no longer available, citing an accident or mechanical difficulties. In the courtroom, the judge noted that as early as March 12, Tamika had told other potential clients that the large bus featured in her videos was unavailable, yet she had continued to lead Nidra on. When the wedding day arrived, the bus that showed up was far smaller, designed for 15 to 20 passengers at most. The driver of the bus was Tamika's nephew, Antoine, a 20-year-old young man who arrived late because he claimed to have the wrong address. He did not possess a commercial driver's license at the time, an essential requirement for operating such a vehicle. His license would not be issued until January of 2023. Nidra and her husband tried to make the best of the situation, but the joy of the day was dampened by the cramped quarters and the fact that many guests could not fit on the bus. People they loved, including children and siblings, were left behind or had to find other ways to travel. Despite the frustration, Nidra stood in the courtroom with her husband by her side. They were happy. Their love proved stronger than the logistical failures of a subcontracted bus service. Judge Judy, recognizing the bait and switched tactics used by the defendant, ruled in favor of the plaintiff. She awarded Nidra Hunter $950, a full refund for the service that failed to live up to its name. The lesson was clear. A business built on shadows and empty promises cannot stand against the light of the truth. The second tale to unfold in the courtroom was one of sisterhood, tragedy, and the long road to healing. Dorothy Moore had moved to Cincinnati from Pensacola, Florida, carrying a heavy burden of grief. Only 11 months into her marriage, she had lost her husband to gun violence. Feeling alone in a new city, she sought out other women who had suffered similar losses. She founded a group called the Dirty Girl Riders, a sisterhood of women who rode motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles to promote peace and empowerment. Out of 64 women who initially showed interest, 10 became her true sisters. Among these women was Jasmine James, who joined the group in October 2021. They bonded over their shared history and participated in parades, including the Cincinnati Reds Parade, to inspire children and advocate against violence. On August 16th, during a ride for peace, Dorothy allowed Jasmine to borrow an all-terrain vehicle that belonged to Dorothy's 19-year-old son. It was a brand-new machine, purchased in April of 2022 for $2,279. As the group rode down Reading Road in a single-file line, the atmosphere was one of solidarity. But as they approached the turn, the peace was shattered. According to Dorothy, Jasmine made an illegal turn, lost control, and crashed the vehicle into a pole. The impact was so violent that the items Jasmine was carrying were scattered across the pavement. Among the debris were small liquor bottles that had been tucked inside her clothing. While Jasmine claimed she had not been drinking that day, the presence of bottles told a different story to those who witnessed the aftermath. Jasmine was seriously injured, her legs split open by the force of the crash. As she was being loaded into the ambulance, she looked at Dorothy and promised to pay her back for the destroyed vehicle. Later, in a text message, she reaffirmed this intent, though she eventually tried to argue that the cost should be split. In the courtroom, the judge saw through the excuses. The responsibility for the damage lay with the person operating the vehicle. The judge ruled in favor of Dorothy Moore, awarding her $2,279. It was a victory for accountability, but the emotional weight remained. Dorothy had tried to build something beautiful out of her pain, a group that stood for peace and sisterhood, while the accident had tested those bonds. The spirit of the Dirty Girl Riders continued to ride on, a reminder that even in the face of loss and betrayal, one must continue to seek justice and look twice to save a life. Both cases served as a testament to the importance of integrity in human dealings. Whether it was a wedding day or a ride for a cause, the expectations of honesty and care were the foundation of every contract and every friendship. As the court adjourned, the participants walked away with a clearer understanding that while life is full of unexpected turns, the truth remains a constant guide toward a more just and compassionate world.